بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. This is our third lesson. In the first two lessons, we started going over the alphabet. We've been through about 7 letters. Inshallah, what we'll do now is we will have a little bit of revision, inshallah. We'll go over a few of the letters from the previous 2 lessons, and then we'll move on to the new lesson. As we mentioned before, the concept is still the same. The aim of the lesson is still the same. Right now, we're just identifying the letters. So I'm going to ask some of you, I'm going to draw a few letters from the letters we've already taken, and inshallah, you guys can guess them, bi'idhnillah. So let's start. Brother Dawood.
Gene.
No, there's no dot. I don't know if you can see a dot.
Oh, okay. Ha.
Ha.
Ha. Ha.
Ha.
Ha.
Ha.
Ha.
Suhail.
Sheikh.
You can read the letter, please.
Jim.
Jim. Brother
Jim.
Dawood, if you could read, please.
Ha.
Kha.
Ha.
MashaAllah. Khaybar.
Ta.
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 Muhsin.
Kha.
MashaAllah. Aid, repeat one more time.
Kha.
Brother Dawood.
Ba.
One more
Ba.
time. Suhail.
Tha.
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 And Khaybar.
Kha.
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 Brother Dawood. Sorry, it's a little bit small.
Gene. Oh, no, sorry. Ha.
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 Okay, so I'm going to write these 3 letters for you, Brother Dawood, and we're going to come. So Jim has got a dot here, okay?
Yes.
And then Ha got no dot.
Yes.
And then
Ha.
Kha got a dot on the top.
Ha.
I don't know, anybody got a good story to make up to remember for Brother Dawood and any of the others? What's a good story you can make from these letters so you remember, from the dots? Anybody got any ideas? Khaybar, any ideas?
No.
Suhail, any ideas?
For Kha, it is like a man's eye, like that, Sheikh.
Like a what?
For see, man's eye, face and eye, side view.
Side
For,
view
yes, Sheikh.
for a person.
Jim. For Jim. For Jim, it is looking like a side view of a man. For small eye and face.
Muhsin, any ideas?
No, sorry, Sheikh.
No
No.
ideas. Okay.
Middle
I have an
empty.
idea.
Yeah.
I have an idea.
So this
The way
is Ha.
you draw it, it looks like a man's nose. So the man's nose with a dot on it is the Jim. Without the dot is the Ha. And with the dot above his nose, it's a Ha.
So what makes a Kha, the fact that it's above the nose or below the nose?
Above the nose. It's above the nose. The
Okay,
dot
so
on the
let's
nose
come
is
again.
Jim.
Okay, so let's say, let me try. Ha, because we said Ha comes clean out of the throat, right?
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
got no dot. Ha.
No dot. It's clean. Yes.
So ha means clean. As you can see, there's no dot here, there's no dot here. So it's clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So that is ha. Just divide them. Right. Jim has a dot here, and kha has a dot on the top. So that's
Yeah.
Jim, ha, and kha.
Ha.
You learn later on. I'll just mention it briefly. Don't worry if you don't understand it. But you learn later on that when we actually pronouncing the sounds, there's all like vowels in English. There's a. Let's go with English. Your vowels in English, a, then
E. A.
five vowels.
E.
Yeah.
O,
I.
O,
O.
yeah.
U.
You. So in Arabic, you've got three. Just remember, E, it's like you're going downwards. E. E. So the whole sound, when you say A, it's a higher pitch. E, you're going down. So E, the sound E here, when the dot is here at the bottom, Jim. And when the dot's on the top, Kha. Did you get us, Brother Dawood?
Yes. Yes.
So when the dot's here in the middle, that means you're going downwards. So it should be Jim. And when it's on the top, Kha, you're lifting up. And when there's no dot, it's a clean sound. Ha. I don't know if that made any sense, but
No, it does.
inshallah so that's Jim. So Jim. How we said it's clean, and Kha is on the top. Just a side note, always when you're trying to memorize, you're trying to think of something, you're trying to remember something, try to make a story up so you can remember it. Sometimes when you reading the Quran and you find that there's verses which are similar, or you're reading the hadith and you want to know the exact order, try and tell yourself a story, and then inshallah you remember the order, you remember the words. Try and find clues. So right now we're trying to extract a clue from where the dots are and connecting it to some of the vowels in the English language. So because when you open your mouth, you're going up, so we'll say the fact that this dot here is on the top for kha, they must be related somehow. So kha. Jim, we're going downwards. So jim itself goes down and e goes down.
Yeah.
So if that made any sense, I hope it did. But inshallah, there's many ways to remember. And inshallah, you try your best. You always make these things up, or stories at times, in order to get through, inshallah. Now we'll move on to today's lesson, inshallah. Before today's lesson, we'll read what we've already taken. We'll read both lines and then we'll move on to today's lesson, inshallah. So I'll read first, and then Brother Dawood, and then Khaybar, Suhail, and Muhsin, inshallah. So let me start. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alif, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim, Ha, Kha. اقرأ يا داود.
Alif, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim, Ha, Kha.
Ahsanta. Today's new word is ahsanta. Ahsanta means, or ahsant means well done, or you did good. Okay, so far, how many words have we taken? 3 words. Anybody can remind me?
Ikra, ahsanta.
Iqra, and
Ya.
ya.
Yeah.
So you want to call somebody Ya Muhammad, Ya Dawood, Iqra, Ya Fulan. Somebody does something good, say ahsant. Okay, Brother Dawood, you can read for us one more time, please.
Alif, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim, Ha, Kha.
Ahsant. Ya Khaybar, Iqra.
ألف با تا ثا جيم حا خا.
أحسنت. سهيل اقرأ.
ألف با تا ثا جيم حا خا.
Say ha one more time, please.
ها.
أحسنت. محسن اقرأ.
ألف با تا ثا جيم ها خا.
Okay, please say alif and ba one more time, please.
ألف با.
Okay, so alif or alif, one word. You can say alif, no, alif, one word. So there's no pause in the middle. Let's go again.
ألف
Ba,
با
ta.
تا.
Yeah, so ta, it's not like, it's not a hard ta, it's not ta, it's ta. Easily, just let it flow out, inshallah.
تا.
أحسنتم جميعا. Well done, all of you. We move on to today's line, inshallah. So, do you see any similarities with an English letter here or no? Anybody? Backwards, forwards?
It's a backward C.
Backwards C.
Yeah.
What comes after C?
D.
D.
Da.
Okay. So this here is Daal. Daal. So if you want to have a
Daal.
capital, say Daal. So if you had to put this line here, see, there's your capital. Daal.
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 Okay, Brother Dawood, you can read it 3 times.
Daal.
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 Okay, so it's not like dal and curry. No, it's dal.
Daal.
Dal.
Daal.
Dal.
Daal.
أحسنت. طيب, next, Khaybar, if you're with us.
Yeah. Daal.
Dal.
Daal.
Okay, so can you notice a difference when I say dal and dal?
Daal is lighter.
Yes. Dal.
Daal. Daal.
أحسنت. سهيل اقرأ.
دال. دال.
أحسنت.
دال.
محسن اقرأ.
دال.
Again.
دال.
Okay, so we don't want to be saying this. We don't want to be saying this. Here we want to avoid this. We don't want this. So not dal, dal. Dal.
دال.
Brother Muhsin, one more time.
دال.
Dal.
دال.
Dal.
دال.
Ahsant. Moving on to the next one. So let me just put an X here to say this one we don't want. Thaal. Thaal. So you know when you're saying the. So let's say you're saying this. Brother. Okay. Brother Dawood, how would you say this in English? That's an E, sorry.
The. You say the.
The.
You say
Yeah,
the.
you say the. Yeah.
So that's exactly
So-
it. The.
No. So we want the to come out. So this is Thaal. Thaal. Thaal.
Daal.
Thaal.
Daal.
Thaal.
Daal.
Thaal. أحسنت. خيبر اقرأ.
ذال ذال
أحسنت. سهيل اقرأ.
Zal. Zal.
Again.
Zal.
No, not zal. Val.
Zal.
No, tell me, is there a difference between this and this? The
First
top
one
one
is
is
Zal. Zal.
that is zal. We don't want
Zal.
this one. This one we don't want. This one we don't want.
Zal.
Again.
Zal.
Val.
Zal. Zal.
Imagine, just say no, not z, not z, no z. T and H. Val.
Not coming. Zal.
No. Val.
Zal. Zal.
Try not to say a Z. No Z. Val. Val.
Zal.
Slowly, inshallah, we'll get there. يا محسن اقرأ.
ذال ذال ذال.
أحسنت. طيب, moving on. This looks like a little crescent moon. Ra. Ra. Let me write that. Ra. Just move that. Ra. Brother
Ra.
Dawood.
Ra.
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 أحسنت. خيبر اقرأ.
را را.
One more time. When we say اقرأ, then everybody must read 3 times, inshallah.
را
أحسنت. سهيل.
Ra. Ra. Ra.
أحسنت. محسن اقرأ.
را را را.
أحسنت. طيب, this one, the name of this letter is Zaay. Zaay. I'm talking about the name of the letter. Zaay. Sorry, I'm writing with my finger. Zaay. Brother Dawood.
Zai.
Z,
Zai.
z. Zai.
Zai.
Yeah, so we don't really want too much emphasis. I was only going z, so you can hear the sound. Zai.
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 خيبر اقرأ.
زاي زاي زاي.
أحسنت. يا سهيل اقرأ.
Zai. Zai. Zai.
أحسنت. يا محسن اقرأ. محسن.
زاي
أحسنت.
زاي زاي.
So getting back here. So let's get back to our letters again. Daal, Thaal, Raa, Zaay. Daal, Thaal, Raa, Zaay. Brother Dawood, you can read from your book.
Daal. Thaal. Ra. Zai.
Again.
Daal. Daal.
Daal, Daal, Daal.
Daal. Thaal. Ra. Zai.
Again, one
Daal.
more time, please.
Thaal. Ra. Zai.
أحسنت. يا خيبر اقرأ.
دال ذال را زاي. دال
أحسنت. Sorry, you can read it again. Carry on. Daal.
Daal, Zaal, Raa, Zaay.
أحسنت يا سهيل اقرأ.
Daal, Zaal, Raa, Zaay.
أحسنت
Daal.
يا أي
Okay,
اقرأ.
Sheikh.
سهيل اقرأ.
Daal, Zaal, Raa, Zaay.
أحسنت. Your val is almost there. Yeah, you said earlier it's not coming. Inshallah, it will come. You must never ever give up. Everything in life is possible, inshallah. You can correct
Inshallah.
everything. As for somebody who says, I can't do it or I won't be able to do it, then they've already started on a negative. They haven't started. So always, everything is possible, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Muhsin, اقرأ.
Daal, Zaal, Raa, Zaay.
أحسنت. طيب. Let's read from the beginning. Right? I'll start and then you guys can all read, inshallah. Alif, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim, Ha, Kha, Dal, Dhal, Ra, Zai. يا داود اقرأ.
Alif, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim, Ha, Ka, Daal, Thaal, Ra, Zaay.
Okay, so with your Dhal, it needs to be a little bit stronger. So not Dal, Dhal.
Daal, Daal.
Yeah, clear. MashaAllah. That's what we want. And one more time, Jim, Ha, and Kha, that middle line, please.
Jim, Ha, Ka.
Okay, so inshallah, we want to get our Ha clean. Ha.
Ha.
So
Ha.
not Kha, Ha.
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 I have that thing in my throat. Sometimes when I speak regularly, I get so it's hard for me to say ha with a clear, ha.
Inshallah, we'll
Ha.
get there. You just
Ha.
try and take the air out of your lungs from here. Ha. Ha.
Ha.
Ha.
Ha.
Ahsant. Ha.
Ha.
Slowly, inshallah,
Ha.
we'll get there. يا خيبر اقرأ.
Alif, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim, Ha, Kha, Dal, Zaal, Raa, Zaay.
أحسنت يا سهيل اقرأ.
Alif, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim, Ha, Kha, Dal, Zal, Ra, Zai.
أحسنت يا محسن اقرأ.
Alif, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim, Ha, Kha, Dal, Zal, Ra, Zaay.
MashaAllah. أحسنتم جميعا. Well done, all of you. So basically, we're still on the same lesson and we've taken a new line. Inshallah, tomorrow, the same drill, bi'idhnillah. Any questions you guys got?
Nope. I'm perfectly good with the pace and everything that's happening. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Khaybar,
Good, Alhamdulillah.
Suhail,
According to this topic, not there, Sheikh.
according to?
This what we learn now today. According to this, not Sheikh. I have a doubt about relation. What we call relation like that. Can I ask?
You have a question with today's lesson or something outside
No.
the lesson?
Something outside the lesson.
No, that's inshallah for another time, not in the lesson,
Okay,
inshallah.
Sheikh.
That's outside the lesson,
Okay.
inshallah.
Okay, Sheikh.
Brother Muhsin, anything?
No.
Barakallahu feekum. So inshallah, we end off again our theme this week, speaking about the pieces of benefit. We were talking about how, inshallah, we are treading a path, bi'idhnillah. We ask Allah to reward us and make us from those who are seeking knowledge. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells us in a hadith, he says, when a person dies, إذا مات الإنسان انقطع عنه عمله إلا من ثلاث. Basically, all his deeds that he can do come to an end because the person has died now. Then he mentions three things that a person can do in this lifetime. And if he dies, as long as they carry on, his good deeds carry on. The first he mentions is Sadaqah Jariyah. Sadaqah Jariyah is a charity that carries on. So I'll give you an example. If you see somebody on the street and you give him $10 just to spend, here you've just given him a normal charity, a sadaqah, he could go and buy something with it, and then it will be finished. However, a continuous charity, you build something, you do something, let's say you've made a masjid, you've made some sort of endowment that carries on giving. So as long as it carries on giving, inshallah, you'll be rewarded. So that's the first thing he mentions. He says sadaqah jariyah. A person may say that, oh, you know, I don't have wealth. For me to give a continuous charity, I have to have wealth. No, sometimes there's things that you can give in charity, and as long as somebody continues using them to use these things, inshallah, you'll be rewarded. So for example, if you had a family who was poor or they didn't have much, and you had to give them let's say kitchen pots or pans or glasses, as long as they are using these things, inshallah, you are rewarded all the time. So that's sadaqah jariyah. The second thing he mentions, ilm yuntafa'u bihi, knowledge that people benefit from. And the best knowledge that a person can leave is Islamic knowledge. So with us learning these few words, you know, if you find somebody you're able to teach, whether it's these words or anything else, anything of benefit, if they had to carry on practicing what you've taught them, you will be rewarded, inshallah. And if they had to teach somebody else, all of you will be rewarded. So for example, let's say that Brother Dawood taught us something good today. Let's say he told us that from the Sunnah is to recite Suratul Kafirun and Suratul Ikhlas in Salah. So every time, let's say Brother Khaybar learns this from him in Salatul Fajr, the Sunnah of Salatul Fajr, Brother Khaybar starts reciting it, he will be rewarded and Brother Dawood will be rewarded. If Khaybar had to teach Suhail, all three will be rewarded, and so on and so forth. And so whatever little you may know, any benefit, try and share it, because that's the knowledge that carries on. A good word, teaching somebody good values, etc. Inshallah. So that's the second thing he mentions. The third thing he mentions is he leaves a pious child that makes dua for him. وَوَلَدٍ صَالِحٍ يَدْعُو لَهُ. That could be his immediate children. It could be from anywhere from his lineage. And lineage is mentioned in this hadith. But also, if sometimes what happens, there's some scholars who didn't have children, and they were asked about this hadith, and they said that we have children who are our students of knowledge, so not our real children, and they've carried on with our knowledge, hence they go back to the second category. So these are three important things we should always bear in mind, that when you die, your deeds will come to an end. Your job in life, as you're living, yes, live and whatever you need to do, partake in this worldly life, whatever is necessary, no problem. But always remember these three things. If you can't have a continuous charity and you don't have children, the least you can do, and the door is open for everybody, is to learn a little bit of beneficial knowledge and share it. So inshallah, those who learn from you and practice upon it, your deeds carry on after death, inshallah. Any questions, or we can end off? Anything?
No, Sheikh.
Barakallahu feekum. Inshallah, we see you guys tomorrow, bi'idhnillah.